New at noon, a new twist in the scandal over possible obstruction of justice inside the White House. A New York Times report saying that President Trump ordered his top lawyer to stop Attorney General Jeff Sessions from recusing himself in the Russia investigation. Here's CBS reporter Weijia Zhang.
According to the New York Times, President Trump urged Attorney General Jeff Sessions to stay in charge of the Justice Department's investigation into whether the Trump campaign colluded with the Russians during the 2016 election. Mr. Trump reportedly sent the top White House lawyer to stop Sessions from recusing himself from the case. When that effort failed, the Times says the president erupted in anger, saying he needed his attorney general to protect him. A newly released book, Fire and Fury, has brought the obstruction question back into the spotlight. One of the revelations is how the White House responded to a meeting between the Trump campaign and Russian officials. According to author Michael Wolff, the president's inner circle huddled on Air Force One and decided to say the meeting was primarily about Russian adoptions by Americans. Wolff writes that Trump campaign lawyer Mark Corallo resigned because he thought that conversation constituted obstruction of justice. Special counsel Robert Mueller will decide whether to bring a case against the president.
The saying is, you don't take on the king unless you know you're right and you can win. And so when I say Special Counsel Mueller will approach this carefully, he will.
As further report about the president's efforts to stop the attorney general from recusing himself from the case, a spokesperson for the Justice Department declined to comment. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
That new book that Weijia mentioned about the Trump White House is now on sale. It hit store shelves despite threats of a lawsuit. The book's author is now defending his work after the White House launched attacks against its credibility. CBS reporter Mola Lenghi is live with what the author said this morning. Mola?
Well, Michelle, when President Trump was a private citizen, he had a bit of a penchant for threatening or filing lawsuits against people who were critical of him, who he felt had defamed him in some way. And now it seems Mr. Trump is carrying that practice into his presidency.
The author of an explosive new book about the Trump White House is defending his work from attacks by the president.
I have recordings, I have notes. I am certainly absolutely in every way comfortable with everything I've reported in this book.
President Trump tweeted that he did not authorize access to the White House, that he never spoke to the book's author, and that it's full of lies and misrepresentations. But Michael Wolff tells NBC's Today Show the president is wrong.
I absolutely spoke to the president. Whether he realized it was an interview or not, I don't know, but it certainly was not off the record.
President Trump tried to stop the release of the book and had his lawyers send cease and desist letters to Wolff and the book's publisher threatening legal action.
Regardless of whether or not there's a lawsuit, they should be concerned about peddling fake stories. They should be concerned about putting out information that's not true.
In response, the publisher moved the book's release date from next week to today, citing unprecedented demand.
Not only is he helping me sell books, but he's helping me prove the point of the book. I mean, this is extraordinary that a president of the United States would try to stop the publication of a book.
Fire and Fury is already at #1 on Amazon's bestsellers list.
Now, we should note that some of Wolff's past writing has been scrutinized. It has been challenged for accuracy and its attention to detail. But there are reports that Wolff has audio recordings of some of the more than 200 people he says he interviewed for this book. If that does, in fact, prove to be the case, obviously that would go a long way in corroborating and backing up at least some of what Wolff has written here in this book. Mola Lenghi, KPIX 5, the White House.